Hei, dette er Rune Mossegren, og i denne videoen skal jeg gå gjennom Brainbench sin Unix Administration General Assessment Test. Begynner med å fylle ut informasjon om meg selv. Sånn. Her er litt informasjon om testen. Det ser godt ut, så jeg klikker bare på Continue for å fortsette. Det er sånn multiple choice spørsmål. 40 spørsmål. Jeg har 3 minutter på meg på hver spørsmål. Det går nok rett. Skal vi se. PS2 equals more, export PS2. When executed in the SH or bash, the commands shown in the code above set which one of the following: the terminal to use military time, the user session to default to more, secondary prompt to more, the user session default printed to PostScript, the user session to store 100 more lines in the history. The secondary prompt to more is the correct one. In System 5 systems, which one of the following files determines which methods are used for hostname resolution? etc default domain? No. etc nsswitch.conf? No. etc hostnames.order? No. etc remotehosts.conf? No. etc localhosts? No. nsswitch hostname resolution, nsswitch, that's the one. Root all equals all, percent wheel, all equals all. What does the above sudo ERS fragment do? It permits anyone in the group wheel and the root user to execute any commands as any user on any host. Permits system commands to execute as root as any user in the wheel group or as any user in the wheel group. Logs every command executed by the root user and by any user in the wheel group. Logs no commands. Permits anyone in this group. No, it permits system commands to execute as root and any user in the wheel group. Percent select 1 plus stopped sigtin. Given the message above, what is the next step and why? Use FG $1 to resume because the background job has stopped and is waiting for user input. Use kill -1 to resume the init process which has stopped. Use FG1 to resume the background job which has stopped and is waiting for user input. Use FG%1 to resume because the background job has stopped and is waiting for the user input. The system must be rebooted because the init process 1 has stopped. I believe it's waiting for user input and use the FG command, foreground command, to bring it back into the foreground. And the syntax is, I believe, choice number 3, FG1. On Linux, the sysctl command does which of the following? It hot swaps the kernel with a new one in real time? No. It provides a menu for system administration tasks. Don't think so. It modifies kernel parameters at runtime. Yes. It performs system administration. Nah. Controls the system performance parameters. Nah. You can use it to modify kernel parameters at runtime. What is single user mode? System state describing dumb terminals allowing system access to single users? No. System state used to carry out maintenance activities? Yes. The default state of the system when only one user is logged in? No. A standard system state setup for workstations only used by the single user who is usually the owner? No. System state designed by into the OS by its vendor for device initialization? No. It's a system state for carrying out maintenance activities. Which one of the following commands do you use to create a character type special file? mknot, mkchar, mkdevice, make FIFO, make node is the correct answer. Which one of the following utilities allow you to validate the samba configuration file? smb status -v, samba -v, testparam, smb-conf, smbd -v, smb status -v. If you kill the parent process, any orphaned child process becomes a child of which one of the following processes? sh, init, initd, boot, kernel. They become a child of inetdaemon. ls-l/tmp. Referring to the above, why are some files shown as owned by a numeric user ID and not a login name? It's because that username is not in the password file. Let's see. The permissions are wrong. No. The two usernames that were not resolved were not members of the ls group. No. Those user IDs are not found in /etc password file. That's one. ls command is broken. Wrong. Permissions are wrong. No. It's because the IDs are not found in the password file. Which one of the following files contains the names of users not allowed to log in via FTP? etc FTP deny, FTP users, ftp.allow, users.ftp, ftp.deny. Haven't used that functionality, but I believe it's FTP deny. Not quite sure, I have to look that up in the man page. Which one of the following do you use to determine your IP address in Unix? /spinwin cfg? No. etc nfs-stat? No. cat etc networks? No. spin ifconfig? Yes. Shopping AP? No. It's ifconfig. Which one of the following is not a function of SNMP? Remotely configure router, gathering an inventory of network devices, logging into a Unix server to administer it remotely? Nope. Monitoring system uptime, measuring throughput of a NIC card? No, you can't log on to anything with a... Can't log into a Unix server to administer it remotely. You have a PC with an IDE CD-ROM drive and SCSI hard drives. You have installed Unix from a CD, but when you try to boot without a CD inserted, you receive the error "No boot device." Referring to the above, which one of the following is the cause of the error? You have LBA turned on, which is incompatible with SCSI drives. Your computer BIOS does not recognize the SCSI drives as bootable devices. You forgot to install the SCSI device drivers. You cannot mix EDA and SCSI devices on a Unix system. That's wrong. The distribution that you have installed requires that you always have a boot CD inserted. It's probably the BIOS that does not recognize the boot device. A user was editing with VI when suddenly he received this prompt as the only thing on his screen. Now he can't get out of it. Referring to the scenario above, which one of the following commands does the user enter to get back to full screen mode in VI? Full exit queue screen visual. I'm not that familiar with these functions in VI, but I believe it's either visual or screen, so I have to just pick a guess. Believe it's visual. Which one of the following provides redundancy while providing the most usable storage from the available drives? RAID 0, no. JBOD, no. RAID 0110, no. RAID 5, yes. RAID 1, no. Has to be RAID 5. Which one of the following system resources does the zombie process use? Kernel code tables, no. Process table entries, yes. Kernel semaphores, no. Kernel memory page tables, no. Data memory, no. Only uses process table entry. Which one of the following is not a location where man pages are often found? User man, use Excel man, etc man, use share man, use local man, /etc. Man pages are usually not in /etc directory. A user is trying to use cron to schedule a job. The cron.allow file exists but is empty. The cron.deny file does not exist. The user is unable to submit new cron jobs or edit their cron tabs. Based on the scenario above, which one of the following is the cause of the problem? System requires a blank cron.deny file. Could be, I'm not quite sure. The cron.allow file is not readable by user cron. Probably not. A blank cron.allow file blocks all users from using cron tab. That's correct. The cron daemon is not running. The system is running in single user mode. That's one is the correct one. Which one of the following can you not do with tunefs? Change the number of reserved blocks. Set the maximum number of mounts between file system checks. Increase the number of inodes. Change how the kernel responds to file system errors. Add an ext3 journal to an existing file system. I'm not familiar with that way of working with the tunefs command. I believe it's probably changed the number of reserved blocks or add an ext3 journal to an existing file system. This is a Linux specific command. believe it's the first one, change number of reserved blocks. I'm not quite sure about that, I have to look that up in the man page. An exported file system that has just been added to the /exports file does not show up as a mountable file system, and it attempts to mount the exported file system fail. Given this scenario above, how do you fix the problem? Restart the port mapper daemon, use the exportfs-a command, restart the NFS daemon, replace the file system with a different one, mount the file system using the mount-f command. Wrong. You have to do exportfs, use the exportfs command to export the file systems again. You have a system problem that requires you to replace the motherboard in your Unix server. It is an initial identical motherboard with an integrated network interface. All settings and software are unchanged. DHCP services are provided by a central router. When you boot the server, it is unable to obtain an IP address. Additionally, when you set the address manually, the server can only communicate with network devices on the same hub switch. Based on the above scenario, which one of the following is the problem? Network interface is damaged? No, because you can't reach the hub. IP filtering is enabled on the router? No, because that's on the IP level. You have to update the private and public SSL keys? No, because you can't even get the router. Network cable is defective? Nope. MAC filtering is enabled on the router? That's the one. The new grp command is used for which one of the following? To expand the group ID to contain all group memberships for the current user? Nope. To switch to an expanded shell that uses all groups? No. To add a new group membership to the current user? Yes. To add a new group to the specified user account? Yes. To switch to the new shell? So it has to be the number 4, because you can give a user a ID as a parameter to the new group command. In examining your system, you notice that one file system seems to be busy almost 100% of the time, while your other file systems are virtually idle. The busy file system contains all of the user's home directories. Referring to the scenario above, which one of the following is the best course of action? Number 1, enable disk quotas. No. Install a larger hard drive. Could be move all of the users to another server. Could be unmount the busy file system to reduce the load of the disk controller. Nah. Move some of the user directories to another physical file system. That's the best way. In the C shell, which one of the following scripts do you run at logout? til.logout, til.atexit, til.exit, til.profile, til.cshrc.logout. That's the one for CSHRC. The command trace route does which one of the following? Traces a new system's shipping route? No. Traces the packet's route through the network? Yes. Tests network stacks on the local network segment? No. Traces a packet's route through the local system's network stack? No. It discovers and displays the network topology? No. Traces a packet through the network. Which one of the following describes the process of running scripts to change run levels? Each appropriate script in the run level directory is run in sequence. all scripts are run in parallel and take the appropriate action based on the run level. Each script is examined for dependencies, and all dependencies are run in as necessary prior to each script running. Each script is examined to see if it pertains to the desired level, and if so, it's run. The scripts are run with the run level as a parameter, and they select the appropriate action based on the run level. I've not been working too much with the run level scripts. I believe they are run in sequence in the appropriate directory. Yeah, I believe that's the correct answer. Which one of the following does not require you to directly change kernel parameters? Increase the amount of system-wide shared memory, increasing the system-wide paging space, decrease the maximum IPC message size, change the maximum number of open files per process, increase the number of available semaphores. Does not require change of kernel parameters. You can increase the system-wide paging space without changing anything in the kernel. In debugging a program which fails with a segmentation fault, you discover there are no core files left behind anywhere on the system. What is the root cause of the problem detailed above? System uses dump files instead of core files? No. The core files are stored in a different location? No. The core file is in a subspace? No. Core files are disabled by their size being limited to 0? Yes. The core files are sent over the network to different hosts? No. Core size being limited to 0. Which one of the following describes a context switch? It is a flag used to signal a kernel spin lock. It is a method of switching control from the currently executing process to the next process that is ready to run. It is a switch of the system context. It's an error condition that comes from too many processes running at once. It's a swap request. I'm not quite familiar with that. But I believe it's the switching control from the current execution process to the next. I believe that's the one. With which of the following is a new process created? New pit call, spin lock call, proc call, new proc call, fork. You can fork a new process. That creates a new process. What are the three main roles of a DNS server can fulfill? Primary, secondary caching only? Prime, reverse lookup cache? No. First level, second level, backup level? No. Primary, secondary, tertiary? No. Prime, backup, caching only? Primary, secondary, caching only is the correct answer. What is a zombie, a defunct process? A process that is still running, whose parent has been abnormally terminated. I believe that's the correct one. A process that is consuming the resource of other running processes? No. Process that continues to run even after it has been killed? Yeah. Process that generates a kernel fault? No. Process that has completed execution but still has an entry in the process table? No. It's because the parent died abnormally. Knowing the IP address associated with the current network connection, Which one of the following Unix utilities do you use to determine the MAC address? ipconfig, ping, arp, ifconfig, netstat. ifconfig gives you info on the MAC address. Could also use arp to discover it, but I believe it's ifconfig. Each Unix command returns a result code, usually either 0 for success or 1 for error. Many commands return other codes to indicate other conditions. Referring to the text above, what environment variable in born compatible shells do you use to retrieve the return code? $home, $@ bang, $@ $question mark is the one. Which one of the following is not a standard Unix backup command? tar is known, backup is known, backup is the Windows thing, dump, cpio, backup is not the Unix command. Which one of the following mechanisms is most commonly used for controlling access to a shared memory segment? Context switches, named pipes, associated cache, block mode devices, semaphores. I believe it's named pipes. What is the purpose of the /proc file system? To increase system performance? No. To provide file system stats? No. To provide raw disk access? No. To process file system operations? No. To provide file system level access to processes? That's correct. On an older system, what is RSH? It's a backdoor into the system left by an attacker? No. It's a shell for root user. It's a restricted shell. It's a part of the initialization process. No. It's a restricted bourne shell. Yes. It's used to restart the bourne shell. No, it's a restricted shell. You are having hardware problems with the RAID array. The technician removes a single drive from the multi-disk array and connects it to another system. The technician then logs in, mounts the drive, and is able to view the file system and the files within it. Based on the scenario described, the volume came out of what type of an RAID array? RAID 10, RAID 0, RAID 1, JBOD, RAID 5. It's a mirrored setup, so the disk head is a mirror, and RAID 0 is mirror. RAID 1 is striping, so RAID 0 has RAID 0 for mirroring. That concludes the test. Have a great day. Bye.